In this video, I will discuss about master slave JK flip-flop. Already you know about JK flip-flop and you know that the main disadvantage of JK flip-flop was race around condition. That's why we will design master slave flip-flop. Master slave JK flip-flop is designed to remove the race around condition. Now we will discuss about the block diagram of master slave JK flip-flop. To construct master slave JK flip-flop, two JK flip-flop connected back to back. You can see from this figure, these two JK flip-flop are connected back to back. In master flip-flop, normal clock is used, and in slave flip-flop, inverted clock is used. You can see that normal clock is going to this JK flip-flop, but there is a bubble in this clock before entering to this slave JK flip-flop. This bubble indicates the inverted clock. That's why I have written here this inverted clock is represented by this bubble, Now operation of right hand flip-flop depends upon the response of the left hand side flip-flop. You can see that output of this left hand flip-flop is connected to the input of this right hand flip-flop. This one and this one. Also we can say left hand flip-flop is controlling right hand flip-flop. You can see from this figure that this flip-flop is controlling this flip-flop. That's why this left hand side flip-flop is called master flip-flop and this right hand side flip-flop is called slave flip-flop. Now I will discuss the connection diagram of master slave JK flip-flop and then the circuit operation. First, let's come to the connection diagram of the master slave JK flip-flop. In the previous block diagram, you already have seen that two JK flip-flop is connected back to back to form a master slave JK flip-flop. Here also you can see that is your one JK flip-flop and that is your second JK flip-flop. These two JK flip-flop are connected by these two lines. Okay, and also you can see that normal clock is applied to this first flip-flop and inverted clock is applied to this second flip-flop. We have used a NOT gate to invert this clock signal. Also you can see that this Q bar feedback is connected to this NAND gate and this Q output is connected to this NAND gate. Now I will come to the circuit operation. I have divided the whole circuit operation in the 4 stages. That is for stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 and stage 4. Also for this 4 stage I will take different time of the clock. For stage 1 I have taken only this time of the clock. For stage 2 I have taken only this time of the clock. In the same manner I will discuss stage 3, stage 4 in this way continuous. So first one is stage 1. That means I will consider only this high condition of the clock. During this whole operation, we will apply 1 and 1 to both the J, K input. That's why J is set to 1 and K is set to 1 always. You can see in this 4 stage, J and K are always set to 1. There is also 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. That means J and K input will remain unchanged here. So first stage is we are taking only this high portion of this clock. So what will happen at this situation? Also we are assuming that initial stage of Q is 0. Okay, so initial stage Q is equal to 0 means this Q was 0. Obviously Q bar will be 1. Clear? Now you can see that this Q bar is connected to this NAND gate. That means this input is 1 and J is 1 and clock is 1. Here we are considering 1. That means clock is also 1. Okay, so the output will be here and the input is all are 1. That means output will be equal to 0. In the same manner, this Q is connected to this NAND gate. That means this signal is 1, 1 and also this one is 0. That means output is 1. That means now QM will be 1 and QM bar will be 0. Because you know that for SR latch, when the input configuration is 0 1, the output is 1 0. So before going to circuit operation, note one thing. When the clock is 1, this master flip-flop will operate and this flip-flop will behave as memory stage, and when the clock signal is 0, this master flip-flop will behave as memory stage and this slave flip-flop will operate. That's why QM will jump from 0 to 1. Now what will happen to Q? Already I have told you that you are applying inverted clock. Okay, that means when the clock is 1, at that time here the clock is 0. That means this slave flip-flop will act as memory. That means it holds its previous data. That means now Q and Q bar will hold its previous data. That means 0 1. That means Q will remain same as before. It is continuously 0. Now I will discuss output of master and slave flip-flop for the period 2. For the period 2, that is my period 2. That means during period 2 clock signal is low. During this situation I have to examine the output of master and slave flip-flop. So first you have to know the previous stage output. That means output of period 1. You know that output of period 1 for QM was 1 and for Q it was 0. I have written this period number 1 1 for your convenience, so that you can understand easily that for period 1 the output QM was 1 and at period 1 the output Q was 0. Now what will be the output of QM and Q at period 2? So during period 2 the clock signal is low. That means at period 2 this master flip-flop works as memory and this slave flip-flop is operational. That means during this period this master flip-flop holds its previous data and this slave flip-flop is operational. Now output of master flip-flop is QM. That means QM holds its previous data. Now we are at period 2. That means at period 2 the QM holds its previous data, which is 1. That means during period 2 also the QM will be 1. That means high. So what will happen? The output Q during period 2. Now you can see that if QM is 1, then obviously QM bar is equal to 0. Now we are giving 1 0 input to this JK flip-flop, and we know that for the input pattern 1 0, the output of JK flip-flop is 1 0. That means now output will be 1 and 0. So Q will jump to 1 from 0. That means at period 2 the value of Q will be 1. Now what will happen at period 3? Again, during this time we have to consider the data of previous period. That means for period 2. For period 2 QM was 1 and also Q was 1. Now we have to examine the value of QM and Q at period 3. So now see that during period 2 the Q output and Q bar output was 1 0. Now this Q value 1 is going to this NAND gate. That means now it is your 1 instead of 0. So now this output will be 0. And this Q bar value 0 goes to this NAND gate. That means now it is 0 and the output value is 1. So now you are giving 1 0 to this SR latch. That means obviously the output will be 0 here and 1 here. So QM becomes 0 during period 3. You can see from this timing diagram QM jumps to 0 from 1 during period 3. Now what will happen to the output Q? So during period 3 the clock signal is high. That means this master flip-flop is operational, but this slave flip-flop is operating in memory stage. That means during period 3 the slave flip-flop holds its previous data. So during period 3 also the Q value will be 1, because in previous stage, that means for period 2 the value of Q was 1. So at period 3 the value of QM is 0 and value of Q is 1. Now we will examine what will happen at period 4. So during period 3 the output of QM and Q was 0 and 1, and during period 4 clock signal goes to low. That means this master flip-flop works as memory and the slave flip-flop is operational. That means during period 4 the QM holds its previous data, that is 0. That means during period 4 also the QM value will be 0. And you are feeding this QM value 0 to this JK flip-flop. Now the input to this JK flip-flop is 0, 1, and you know that for the input 0, 1, the JK flip-flop output will be 0, 1. That means now the output is 0 and 1. So Q value becomes 0. That means Q value jumps from high to low. In this way, the operation of master slave JK flip-flop happens. Till now, I have discussed about the timing diagram for total 4 periods: period 1, period 2, period 3, and period 4. Now it is your job to examine the output QM and Q for the period 5 and period 6. Now in this timing diagram, I have summarized all my previous results. That is your clock signal. It has total 6 periods, and we know that for the whole operation J and K value are always equal to 1. That is the output for period 1. That is the combined output Q for period 1 and 2. That is output Q for period 1, 2, 3. That is output Q for 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is output Q for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is output Q for the period 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Notice that I am considering here only the output Q. I am not considering QM or Q bar. Why not QM? Because QM is the output of master flip-flop and Q is my ultimate output. And if we know Q, we can easily get Q bar by inverting it. That's why it is not required to draw the timing diagram of QM and Q bar. Now notice this summarized timing diagram. Here I have draw both QM and Q. This Q is similar to this Q timing diagram. And this is the timing diagram for Q for JK flip-flop. So these are the race around conditions of JK flip-flop. Now you can see that there is no race around in the output of master slave JK flip-flop. That means you can tell that these race around conditions are successfully removed by using master slave JK flip-flop.